You and I talk a lot about gauging that crystal ball of like, where are we hitting in terms of the cut points? Because until we get plan preview 2, we might not all have that good crystal ball that is Angelo. Like, how, when you are at a plan and then also working with clients over the years, like, how do you get them in the right mentality of thinking, like, it's not just based on where you think that cut point is? How do you keep moving an organization to, like, it might get harder?
I think, now, and certainly my actual team Stars life was pre-pandemic. So we had a really weird couple years of disruption, right? Going back pre-pandemic and where we are now. I think that we're actually in a space where it's like a true performance environment, right? Like I think things are leveling off. We've gotten back to, we don't have the same access disruption. So then to now thinking of, you have to define what success is for you, right? You have to define what's actionable, what's movable, what can I do within my organization? What resources do I have? How can I leverage my provider networks? Like, everybody, yes, wants to. We would always say, gosh, we want to be 5-star. And then the Stars team would sit back and cringe and be like, do we really want to? Because then
Four and a half pays the same. Four and a half pays the same.
The expectations change. And we know it's hard to get there and even harder to stay there. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that
I don't want to be 5 stars.
Yes, everybody wants to be a high-performing plan. But I think for some of those folks, it might be stuck in a 2 or 3 space at certain measures. You have to articulate. The big, I think, thing about Stars is if this and that, what about this and what about that, right? And these are the reasons, or this is what we've done, I guess, is where I'm getting is scenario A, B, C, and D, and then to be able to articulate that to the people that matter and help make those decisions. I find that this is the time of year, and even in my solution provider life, working with Stars teams, when you start to say, hey, I was telling you it wasn't looking good, and turns out plan preview's correct, and it doesn't look as good as we want it to be. And now, I know, but then the fun part comes, and they're like, okay, sure, fine. But then the fun part comes in October when you find out that all of your competitors in your market area or service area have actually increased, and it's even worse. So I think my other little nugget there is to say that's when your senior leadership team says, oh, what do you need? What do you need from us? How can we help you? And you're like, all of the things I asked for the last 2 years. But then have a plan for what is it that you need and want. And as unfortunate as it is, if a low performing situation happens or an underperform or under expectations, use it to your advantage, use it for leverage, get the things that you need, get the supports, the solution providers, the FTEs, the whatever it might be. That's like your one chance to really shake the couch cushions, I guess.
Looking for those pennies. Yeah. Like, where are these pennies at? I think too, is like a lot of times when I'm talking to like star ratings, they're like, I'm so frustrated because now my senior leader, our CEO, our CFO, my board is saying, what are you going to do about our star rating? And that ship is sailed. I remember telling a CEO, I want all our plans to be 4 stars for next year. I said, then go find Doc Brown in that DeLorean, because if you wanted to have 4 stars, that was 2 years ago when your team was saying, we need to really focus on HEDIS. And so I think like really being able to articulate as a leader, how long that timeline is from looking at it from bid to like when that QBP is applied and hits that payment year. Like you need to get in the way back with Mr. Peabody and start thinking about like, where should have we been? And then applying that. But I think even though we're in plan preview 2 right now, and we're looking ahead to October, we're still in the year of our Lord, measurement year 2025. Yep. And so I'd love to hear from both of you, though, really, how do you even start to advise, think, or for yourselves, having both been in a plan, myself included, of like, how can you balance all the pressure of what you know is coming while also staying focused on what still needs to be done? Because that's hard.
Yeah, it's just new information, right? Yeah. Plan Preview 2 is just new. Maybe not so new if you've got really good predictions, but it's just more concrete information to build into your strategy. If you have good projections, Q4 should not feel like a gigantic pivot after you get your star rating. It shouldn't. I totally understand that it does sometimes, but just based on how the industry moves. But you just need to incorporate that and tweak what you're doing for the rest of the year, because now you have a better idea of whether the industry is continuing to move along a similar trajectory to prior years, or if something fundamentally has changed that is maybe a black swan event or like something that was unexpected for the industry. And that's what might cause you to pivot a strategy this late in the year to try and maybe mitigate the impact of that in the current measurement period. But it's new information.